call to order our Brisbane's Park and Recreation Commission meeting. First order of business, Jovi, do we have any considering any requests for commissioners to attend the meeting remotely under the emergency circumstances of AB 2449?
We do not, so we can just proceed with our roll call.
Great.
Starting with you, Chairperson Kern.
Present.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Present.
Commissioner Sims.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the adoption of tonight's agenda. Do we have any deletions, additions, or changes? None. Then I need someone to make a motion.
I motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we are moving to adopt tonight's agenda. So we'll do our roll call. Chairperson Kern.
Aye.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell.
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next order of business is the approval of the minutes from our September 13th, 2023 meeting. They are in your packet.
I move to adopt the minutes.
I can second that.
Oh, I'm sorry, approve the minutes.
Alrighty, we've made a motion to approve the minutes from September 13th. Chairperson Kern.
Aye.
Commissioner Greenlee.
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell.
Aye.
Commissioner Sims.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any citizen communications tonight?
We do not.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item of business. It's our Aquatics Program presentation. And I think we've got Jeff.
Good. Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jeff Franco, the Recreation Coordinator for Aquatics Programming. Tonight, we'll be recapping our programming of 2023. So, next slide, Joey. First, we're going to talk about swim lessons. We have swim lessons offered in the spring, and then the bulk of our swim lessons in summer, as well as fall. Okay, next. This year we had 86 participants. For spring and fall, we do swim lessons on Sunday mornings from 10 to about 12:30. So spring we had 86 participants, mostly Brisbane residents. For summer we had about 375 swim lessons. We do swim lessons in the summer Monday through Thursday mornings as well as Saturday mornings. So there's more swim lessons offered. And it typically, like this year, it's about 50-50 for Brisbane residents and non-residents that take part for summer swim lessons. And then for fall lessons, we had a higher number than usual because we had more demand, so we added a third instructor per half hour. So we were able to accommodate 134 kids, and those lessons are still going on right now. We had a session in September as well as October for Sundays. And last year, it seemed that there was a lot more residents that signed up because I think lessons were maybe more popular or more residents like jumped right during the registration. But this year, it did even out a little bit in more non-residents. I think because we had more spaces open, it allowed for more non-residents to also sign up for swim lessons. Okay. So this year, we had 47 pool parties booked. I actually am in talks to book a 48th one for later this month. This season, we brought back pool parties during rec swim. So last year we had private pool parties in 2-hour time blocks. after our rec swim ended, so 3:15 to 5:15, and then 5:30 to 7:30. This year, we also brought back gazebo rental pool parties during rec swim, so you could have up to 25 people at your party, and you have the gazebo rented, but then you share the pool with other rec swimmers. So, like I said, 47, possibly 48 parties booked. We had our first pool party booked in February. I think we just had one booked, and then all the way through, there's a pool party booked for November. Our busiest months for pool parties are August, September, and October, where almost every single time slot is booked for those. We did have at the beginning of summer or the end of the school year, once again, end of the year pool parties for Panorama's 5th grade, as well as BES, and then a 6th grade pool party for Lippman. Our two biggest programs, lap swim and recreation swim, are still just as popular as ever. We field calls and for lap swim of people coming for the first time, like at least one a week of new people coming to the pool. Like last year, we had a lot of people who had found out about us coming out of the pandemic, of being like, oh, this is a outdoor pool. Like we had open hours earlier than some other pools, so people found us that way. But we still have new customers coming to our pool, I would say weekly. And then rec swim, it is popular. It's very on demand by weather. Last week when we had our heat wave, everybody that came, like we were able to accommodate everybody. We didn't quite get near capacity, but it was about 4 busy days in a row. So I would say we are still very popular for rec swim and lap swim programming. Our water aerobics program continues to be very popular as well and very successful. We have monthly session-based classes, currently Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and through this month, October, Thursday night classes. The Thursday night class is July through October, so in the warmer months. And we're averaging about 25 people per class. The Thursday nights, as it gets a little colder, dwindle a little bit, but we still have quite a bit of participation. It's monthly session-based, and we usually get close to 15 to 20 people who will sign up ahead of time, and then people can also drop in for the classes. So it is $1 cheaper per class if you sign up ahead of time, so there is a perk to doing that. And for our water aerobics, it's pretty 50-50 of Brisbane residents versus non-residents who participate. And like I said in the middle, there's new participants also like lap swim that call for water aerobics to try it out, to test it out, and we're noticing that they're staying. So they're trying out the class and then they're liking the class. So we're getting new participants fairly regularly. Okay, Jovi? So staff training, over the school year, we train have a training about every month and a half, usually on a weeknight or Sunday afternoons. During the summer, we have trainings once a week on Friday mornings. This summer, we brought back a guest trainer, Pete DeQuincy, who's a manager with East Bay Regional Parks. We had him maybe about 4 years ago do a training for us. And this year, when I talked to him, he had said he was in communication with the supervisor at South San Francisco for their lifeguards. So we collaborated this training with the Brisbane lifeguards and South City lifeguards for a training with him. And it was a very, I'd say, intense training, kind of to wake up the lifeguards of like everything is very fast paced and get them like motivated to like, okay, everything you should be in a hurry for, because to prepare you for if there was an emergency. So it was well attended, and there was a lot of chatter about the training of like, it's very different than our trainings the rest of the summer. And then from there, like future trainings after that, head lifeguards were trying to mimic some of the training techniques that he implemented. So it was a very good training. We did that about the middle of summer, so about mid-July this year. Joby? And then an ongoing collaboration is with Lippman Middle School Aquatic Programming. Oh, don't look too closely at that slide. I see a typo. PE classes are in the spring and fall. So right now we're in the middle of PE classes that started mid-September, and they'll go through end of October. And then there'll also be from about April to June, where we have 3 different time slots of PE classes coming. And then one of the after-school clubs for the Lippman clubs is the junior lifeguard program, which is also currently going on. And I know this year there was a good amount of repeat people that wanted to take it, but that have done it in the past. So we decided all new people this season, but then for the next semester to maybe do an advanced junior lifeguarding as well, or in addition to like the kids who want to keep doing it so they can learn more skills or maybe more technical skills as well. Next slide. And then new at the pool this year, it was on recommendation of you guys, new Adirondack chairs. I remember when you guys toured the pool, it was a suggestion made. So Noreen and I got together, I think probably the next week, and we were picking colors of chairs. And then when they came, it was building the chairs. So they're a big hit at the pool. Yeah. So it really adds a lot of color and flair to the pool deck. And every time, like when people were coming the first couple weeks, they were very excited about them. Next. This is what the pool looks like currently. This upcoming Saturday is our underwater pumpkin patch, October 14th from 12 to 2, where we'll have where we throw the pumpkins in the water. We'll have activities for the kids to do, like putting stickers on the pumpkins. We'll have fake tattoos. There'll be games on the pool deck to play, as well as goodie bags to take home with to get people ready for Halloween and the fall season. But with that, any questions on aquatic programming?
How do you feel that, so the summer swim lessons is 51% out of towners, right? Do you feel the pricing is fair for that? Do you feel like you're getting the right pricing?
I think so. Yeah. I feel we're not the most expensive, but we're somewhere in the middle. We're not the cheapest, but we are fairly reasonable for residents and even non-residents. So I feel we've done studies and pretty comparable to other cities.
Building on that question, first of all, thank you, Jeff. It was a great presentation. I take a lot of pride, as I'm sure everyone does, in our aquatics program. It's amazing. And those chairs are very well done. They just are very cheerful. So 375 participants in the swim classes in the summer, half and half, it sounds like, in Brisbane and out of town. Did we have enough room for everybody in Brisbane?
We did, yes. As always, registration opens 2 weeks prior for Brisbane residents to give them, and we try to market as much as possible, like within town, to make sure, even the second week of registration, to make sure it's not too late to have your exclusive registration. And for summer registration, unlike spring and fall where the classes fill up in the first couple days, summer, like the first couple weeks fill up, and then throughout the summer, more and more classes fill in. So there was still some availability, like the later half of the summer, the last couple weeks, even if people missed early registration, that there was opportunities and there was people like still signing up throughout the summer. And like I don't have the numbers of if it was residents or non-residents, but there was definitely ample opportunity.
Great, I'm so glad. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Jeff, great job. Turning on my mic. 48 pool parties, is that a record? Does that feel like a good cadence for us, or you think we can do more?
I feel it's more than last year. Well, because especially since we added the pool parties during Rec Swim, it's pretty much every single weekend from August through October, and most in July and June. I feel we don't have as many in June and July because people are out of town or there's more vacations. But I would say if we had more, it would have to be people booking them like before summer and then like into November more. So there's opportunity like out of the peak season, definitely, because we offer them year round if people want to like have one in a little bit colder weather.
Got it. Okay.
Is the junior lifeguard, is that just during the school year, those programs?
That is just during the school year. It's one of the Littman after-school clubs,
Yep.
so it is just a school year offering.
It's so popular with my kids. They're 12.
Yes.
And is there any consideration for that during the summer at all, or any type of post-school?
Maybe 5 years back, we did offer a junior lifeguard program for a couple weeks, and it could be something that we look into bringing back. But it definitely was something that we did offer in the past. That we hoped that it would be just as popular as the after-school club, but it didn't have as high of attendance. But it could be something for the future. Yes.
It's so fun for them and so important to learn. So
Thank you.
especially as I jump into water.
Yes.
Good to have kids.
Yeah, Jeff, great programs. I just have a question about the pumpkin patch. How does that work? I've never been to one. Do you show up and the pumpkins are free, or do you pay for pumpkins, or
So
it's a party, I know.
you
but
show
how's
up, you'll pay the entrance fee.
it- Okay,
And then this year we have about 2 different size pumpkins. So there'll be a price for the smaller pumpkins of $5, and then the larger pumpkins or medium pumpkins, $10. So the main part is jump in the pool. All the pumpkins will be in the water.
oh, fun.
They'll be lined up around the pool, and then once we have a good amount of people, we want the adults to help the lifeguards throw the pumpkins in the pool, and then once they're all in the pool, then have all the participants jump in and then swim with the pumpkins, play with them, and then ultimately, if they want to pick pumpkins to take home, then they can do that as well.
That's fun. And another idea maybe, and I'm not sure how this would work with our weather, but maybe in some of the warmer months we could offer adult pool parties after hours, maybe in the evening. Do we already do something like that?
At this time, we don't know.
Okay. Well,
And
I
it's
just thought maybe if somebody wanted to have kind of an elegant pool party, and nobody else was there, and you had, black tie pool party. I don't know. It's just an idea, maybe to open it up to a slightly later time, where somebody could actually have an adult party at the pool. But it would be later, after everyone left. So
Okay.
that's an idea.
Could be something to look into for sure, yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Oh, I do have one more question.
Yes.
Just about the heating system. Did we get a new heating system in the pool?
We don't, not for the pool. We're in the process of getting a new electric heat pump water heater for
Oh.
like the pool showers.
Oh, okay.
So that's, they're starting construction on the housing of it right now. And then I feel by the end of this month, October, it'll be installed. So that's for the pool showers, the indoor and outdoor showers in the locker rooms. That should be coming, yes.
And that will be more efficient?
It'll be more efficient because currently it's a gas water heater. So yes, moving to a electric water heater, it will be more efficient, yes.
Okay.
And
great.
if I may, the city's sustainability manager and deputy director of public works are working on a project to convert the existing pool boiler to an electric, more energy efficient unit. It's just in process at this point.
Okay. Good. Thanks a lot.
Good stuff. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next item of business is some old business here. We're going to start with some event debriefs, starting with coastal cleanup.
Jeff's just playing musical chairs, but he's going to give a quick debrief on coastal cleanup.
Hello,
Could you please introduce yourself?
my name is Jeff Franco, Recreation Coordinator. We do coastal cleanup in addition with the OSEC committee and the Sustainability Department or Division of Public Works. This year we had 50 plus volunteers, which was the biggest ever for one of these events. Years ago, I remember, we did the coastal cleanup this year at the marina. Years ago, we always used to do it at the lagoon, and I remember a year we had about 40 volunteers, and I thought that was a good number, but this year it was definitely over 50, all ages. We had a group of kids that were led by one of the teachers at Littman, so there was about 6 or 7 kids from Littman that, they all worked together, and they volunteered. We picked up about 200 pounds of recyclables and about 500 pounds of garbage, non-recyclable. There was a lot of small trash, like cigarette butts, bottle caps, just pieces of paper. So a lot of not a lot of big pieces of trash. I did have one complaint that there was too many small pieces of trash to pick up, that they had to pick up so much. People, I think, want to go to these events to pick up the big high-ticket items and feel rewarded, but we picked up a lot of trash. There was a lot of bags full. There was also a couple people walking back toward our home base that said we couldn't find trash walking back to where our pop-up tents were, where our event was toward the end of the event. So that was rewarding. And volunteers walked. We started at the north end. That's where we were set up, of the marina parking lot, and they walked all the way down to the south end near where the harbor master's office is. So it was a very well attended and very successful event. This update was an email that I got with 50% of the cleanup sites throughout California, because this was California Coastal Cleanup Day. 50% of the sites reporting. There were over 25,000 volunteers, so much more than that. And at this time, 126,000 pounds of trash and over 7,000 pounds of recyclables. So probably double those numbers were the official numbers.
Well, job well done.
Thank you.
I feel like you guys may have done a stronger job marketing the event this year via social media. And I don't know if that affected the turnout or not, but I think you did a great job there. So,
Did you had it on the same day as the Marina Festival? Is that correct?
Yes, it was the same day as the regatta, and this year, because of that, we partnered with them, and usually we do free lunch for our volunteers, sandwiches from Julie's, but this year we gave them a lunch ticket at the regatta to have them go to the regatta and check out the festivities there as well. So a lot of people did go over there after our event, get their lunch, and then hung out there as well. Yes.
Yeah, seems like a nice melding of
Yeah.
events, because you got people at the marina seeing the people doing the trash pickup and maybe getting the idea the next year they might want to do it too, plus more attendance at the regatta, which is always good.
Yes.
I agree with that. I was there, and I just feel like having the regatta coming up got people kind of excited and, had real purpose. And several people just stopped and said, "What are you doing? Who are you doing this with? Thank you for doing this." So it was really well run, I thought, and efficient.
Thank you.
okay.
Any other?
Thanks for the update.
Thanks.
Next event debrief was Day in the Park and Derby.
Want me to do that? Okay, so we had our day in the park. We had many, many meetings coming up to this event, and I think staff worked really hard, and all of us worked really hard to try and make this day a special day, and it wasn't just trying not to make it just another ho-hum day in the park. Yeah, it was great. It was hot. I think when I got there in the morning, there was a lot of buzz and a lot of people there. The Derby was great. The big wheel race was really fun. And I think that made a big splash. Then it got really hot in the afternoon, and I think people kind of faded. I mean, it was really hard to watch those people doing yoga in the blasting sun, but they did it. Anyways, overall, I think our planning was really good. I think our staff did an excellent job finding vendors, getting really good food, setting up the kids and teen attractions. Those are really popular and well used. And I just think it's a good base to build on. I really liked our pie competition. That was fun. Next year, we're going to tweak it and make it even more interesting, maybe do a fundraiser. But anyways, it was really good. Did you guys go to the park? And these are some of my pie judges.
Best job of my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like, we have some real pie making talent here in Brisbane, but I second everything you said, Lisa. It was wonderful. I think for the commissioners and the staff who worked on it, I thought it was an exceptional event. Everyone had such a great time, and it just seemed like there were so many things to see and do, which was excellent.
I got to film the Derby and the big wheel race, and it was so much fun. And I had to leave after, and I didn't want to leave because this event is so great. So to have to work and then have to leave and not be happy about it, I think that says a lot. My kids had a great time. My family had a great time. And again, you guys work so hard. It's so impressive.
Yeah, I agree. The event overall was just fantastic. Thanks for inviting me to be a judge. I had a good time with that. Kudos to staff. I know that this is a very heavy lift on an annual basis, and kudos to the subcommittee as well. So look forward to a bigger and better one next year. Okay, if we don't have
Chairperson
any
Kern.
other old business.
If I may,
Sure.
we just wanted to publicly share for those that were unable to attend the event, the award recipients that we had during the course of the day.
yes.
So
Yes.
I'll let Jeff go ahead with those.
So we had 2 brackets for the Derby. We split it up in ages about 6 to 9, 9.5, and then 9.5 to 14. We had about 30 participants in the Derby, so we split it up about 15-15. For first place in the 6 to 9 group was Luke Larson, and then second place was Finley McGurty. In the older group for the 9.5 to 14, Tommy Bouchard was the winner, and Logan Palvon was runner-up, second place. For the special Dan Sorrentino Award, this was given to a participant with the best spirit and was presented to Finley McGurty, who displayed tremendous enthusiasm in his first Derby experience. We have the adult big wheel race winner. That went to Daniel Carter. He claimed the victory in the first ever, which I feel that we'll have a second one next year and years to come. We had 10 people take part in that race.
Isn't Luke protesting?
We have the Brisbane, the baking contest.
Oh, yes.
7. The winner was Darius Wozniak.
Yeah, Wozniak.
And then
For his
there was a very
for his
close.
key lime whipped cream, amazing homegrown citrus pie.
I'm still thinking about that pie.
Very good.
And then there was a very close second place, which Carol Carol Forrest, with her incredible apple pear pie.
Which had amazing lattice work and homegrown fruit.
And then to move on to the pie eating contest, not the pie baking contest, we had Mason Fioresi was the champion of that. We had a youth volunteer of the year. It was Sagar Rajan, was honored with marking only the second time in Brisbane history that a youth received this recognition. Additionally, we had live performances by the local Tahitian group, as well as a free yoga class provided by the collective camp as well. Thank you.
Thanks for the update, Jeff. Okay, if there isn't any other old business, we'll move on to new business. We're going to review the former Parks and Rec Capital Improvement Projects list, see if we have got any additions to it, and then try and put a little bit of a priority to it. Noreen, in looking at the packet, I was wondering if no one has any objections to this. Maybe we work through the packet backwards and we can talk about some of the projects that are in progress right now. I know the projects that are in progress are pretty important to all the members of the commission, and so just getting an update on where those are at might influence, some of the discussion that we have going forward.
Sure. Do you just want me to start from the bottom and go up? Okay. So the last one in the attachment number 1 with the staff report is the Crocker Trail Master Plan. The next step in implementation of the master plan is to conduct a full-fledged CEQA. So we're working with RRM Design Group, who conducted the work on the master plan. They will be engaging a subconsultant, WRA, who's an environmental consultant in that process. And so they will be working to provide the city with a 10 to 15% design document that we can then go and embark on the CEQA process. And then from there, once we have the environmental analysis, we can solicit funds for implementation of components of the master plan. So that's the update there. The next one was the new boiler for the...
Can I stop on that one? What is the timing in which we would expect to have the CEQA analysis?
It's hard to say. We're kind of at the mercy of their team's capacity. I met with them last week, and they are working through the documents that were utilized or generated as a result of the Crocker Trail resurfacing project. So they're reviewing those. They will come back to the city with a formal proposal. From there, then we can go through the process. I think it will probably take several months, but I'm happy to provide an update once we have a little bit more of a definitive timeline.
Okay, even several months, so we could start raising funds next year feasibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Hey, Noreen, it says here $60,000 to $80,000. Is this money already earmarked, or is this money that
No.
we need to ask? Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
And the next project on the list is the boiler for the community pool, which I mentioned that our sustainability manager is working on. We don't have a timeline for that yet. They have plans. They're working with a consultant. They have funding earmarked for that. So we're just kind of waiting for when they anticipate construction can take place. When we're ready to do that project, it will result in a closure of the pool. So we'll make sure that we inform the public well in advance.
We also want to do some events at the pool. So, are we closing the pool or are we draining the pool? Just
We are not draining the pool.
Oh, then
No.
never mind. Okay.
Yeah. And then the next two under that in process row are the consultant services to examine the improvements needed for both the old library community center and Mission Blue. We met a couple times with the City Council's infrastructure subcommittee, so they are reviewing the ADA draft transition plan, as well as kind of the scope of services that were proposed to determine whether or not that's something that they want to prioritize at this time.
Got it.
I have a question about the community center. It says to determine how the former library space could be renovated to maximize community benefit. we're not talking renovation. I mean, we're talking everything structural, not just remodeling. We're talking structural stuff that needs to happen with that building, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for all the background and update on those. Okay, commissioners, do you have a process in mind for us to do this, or this is just open discussion?
I was just going to provide to the commission that this is something that we bring before you on an annual or biannual basis, depending on the council schedule. It is within your purview to make recommendations to the city council based on priorities for parks and recreation infrastructure in the city. I recognize that we have 3 commissioners that are not here tonight, so if you would like, we can bring this item back to a future meeting for the full commission to weigh in and identify priorities. But at this point for tonight, we're just looking to kind of open the discussion and identify any additional projects you wish to add to the list, which we can then bring back the complete list at a later date.
Got it, thank you. I think we definitely want to have the opinions of the other 3 commissioners as well. Can we spend, what time is it? Can we spend 5 minutes just walking through these line item by line and make sure that we understand what they are?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to just go through them, and then if you have questions, you can interrupt me? Or
Yeah.
do you want to?
Yeah, I think so. And I guess one question in my mind, and forgive me because it's probably a super basic question, but just for context, financially, some of these have very big price tags. Some of them seem very affordable. I'm just wondering what kind of latitude we have with regard to budgets.
So the list that you're looking at currently, none of this is funded within the council's budget currently. The way that the CIP process works is that all departments bring forward a list of proposed capital improvement projects. Typically, the threshold for CIPs is $10,000 or more. And so the finance team brings all of that information together in a more concise document for the city council's review and for them to kind of identify what a level of available funding there might be, and then for the council to prioritize which projects they want to pursue in the coming year. So some of the items on this list have been on this list longer than I've been here. Things like field renovations. And so we continue to bring those forward to the council as part of this process because they continue to be a priority for the commission. But at any time, this list can change based on the commission's current priorities.
I wonder if, I guess a question I would have is from a staff perspective, what are the top priorities?
Well, it depends on who you ask. Yeah, I mean, we try to take the approach of being in alignment with the city council's kind of goals. So anything that's safety related usually rises to the top for us. Anything that can result in financial savings rises to the top.
Got it. So along those lines, I mean, all these capital improvement projects should be evaluated against, you know, what are the 5 criteria? The fiscally responsible, safety, community building, ecological sustainability. So is that something you're looking to the commission to kind of put some thought against? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
that would be
got
great.
it. And then I'm not bringing this up because I want to add it to the list. I just didn't see it on the list. For the past like 2 or 3 years, there's always been a kayak launch on the list, and it's not here.
I think we pulled it off when we started to engage in the Sierra Point master planning process because there was community input and feedback as part of that process. And so we're still going through it.
Got it. And then one of the items on here is update the city signage. That seems more like a maintenance item than really a capital improvement project. So
Right.
I'm a little curious about that one.
Right, and that's below the $10,000 threshold. So that's something that potentially we could move forward towards the end of the fiscal year if we have funds remaining in the Park and Rec budget.
Got it, okay. It's a very necessary project. I mean, the signage is very, very worn out. And it's from, I could say from a safety standpoint, we need that signage for wayfinding, so I think we could bump that up. Then my only other question that I had on this is I went to Community Park today. There was something about a signboard or something in Community Park.
The bocce court?
No.
Oh, the sports court, no.
Replacement of the message
new message boards in Community Park.
Mhm.
The
Oh, I
one,
missed
it's green, right?
Mhm.
It
Near
looked
the
pretty-
picnic areas.
Yeah, it looked fine to me. What were you thinking? You were thinking about increasing size or
think-
making it digital or?
Did we update the plexiglass? I think it was broken at one point and we replaced the plexiglass in there.
Okay,
So I think it was repaired.
got it.
Oh.
I had a question on the Lippman Field restroom. So this would be adding a restroom, and I guess I'm just wondering, is the restroom in the pool accessible if people needed to use it, or?
If the pool's open.
Okay,
But, and we have a porta potty that we pay for currently that's up there by the field and the
Yeah.
tennis courts. So this would be replacing that.
okay.
My girls that I coach do not go in there.
Yeah.
They go to the pool.
Yeah.
And,
They're allowed to use a pool? Like
yeah, when
they
it's
can-
open, which is
Okay.
nice.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
I know that when we did our survey, pickleball was high on the list of things. Have we considered making one of our tennis courts pickleball friendly?
We have the pilot program taking place currently at Mission Blue Tennis Courts. We don't own the Lippman courts, so any modifications to that facility would require the school district's buy-in and proper process with the school district. I think as you mentioned, we've had a lot of interest in pickleball, and we've had good participation on Wednesday nights up there in the pilot program. So that's something that could come before the commission at a future meeting if that's something that there was a desire to pursue. That could be an item that you potentially add to this list, and we can, staff can go and research the financial impact or the costs that would be associated with doing that.
Yes, to be clear, I'm just talking one pickleball area, which would be 4 courts on one half of it, of the two. Wait a minute. Okay. Each tennis court area equals 4, no, 2.
Two.
2.
You
okay.
can do
Two
two pickleball
pickleballs.
courts on one tennis court.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Just 2,
right.
not the whole place.
I would be interested in just learning the cost of that.
Okay, we can research that.
Well, it needs to be upgraded anyways. This needs to be resurfaced. So that would be a good time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I understand what we're going to do is we're going to just take this back. We'll get a note out to all the commissioners, do a full review of this, put some personal thoughts against it, prioritization, look at it through the lens of, what we're supposed to be evaluating any project against, and then we'll come back. Do we have a meeting in November?
Yes.
Okay. We'll bring it back in November, and everyone can have some time to think about it and review it. Okay, perfect.
And can I ask one more question? I'm sorry. I just wanted to dig into the turf renovation because I know we've talked about this in previous meetings, and it's a very high price tag. And just to be clear, this would be all-weather turf surfacing, so not just planting grass because we have drainage issues. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a debate about grass as well, just for the health and safety and upkeep. When Coach Tony and I have been talking about this for a long time, and the grass would be better. If we can get it properly graded and drained. All that would have to happen anyways. It'd all have to be leveled anyways. But I think we should consider grass as well.
Do we have a price on grass if we did that and did the drainage?
We would need to have a professional come out and provide an estimate.
Okay.
And maybe we could, okay, I'm going to ask Tom, if you had to choose between Lippman and BES Field, which would you choose?
Lippman's in bad shape, dangerous shape.
It is.
And other teams walk in, and it's disappointing when the other teams come in. And it is dangerous. It's very hard. They tried to water it. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of love up there. Compared to Mission Blue, it's still looking pretty good. And those fields are holding up really well.
And why is Mission Blue holding up so well? Is it just that it was built from the ground up and the soil was prepared correctly? And
Yeah, I think it was graded and leveled. And
Graded
I
and
spoke
leveled.
to the coach out there, and he spoke at our last meeting.
it's his baby, right?
He thinks it's great.
Okay.
They're having fun out there. But I would say Lippman is unsafe to play on, quite honestly.
But of course, the issue with Lippman is that we do not own that field as a city.
Correct. The school owns it, and an idea was to try to annex it from the school, take that problem away from the school, and have them teach and have us take care of that. And that would add the tennis courts. Then we'd have the pool. We'd have the whole mesa up there. As our responsibility, the school would get first priority. Everybody wins. Maybe get YouTube to sponsor it.
We go
YouTube. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyhow, a lot of ideas. Very motivated to, have this a long-term project for something I could work on.
Okay.
And before we wrap this item, I do want to acknowledge that we have a member of the public here, and if they want the opportunity to speak, I want to make sure that they have the chance to do so.
Absolutely. We'll welcome a citizen communication on this topic.
No, come on.
I'm so honored. Thank you. My name is Michael Barnes. I'm a Brisbane resident. One thing I don't know if the commission is aware of, but David Canepa gave Brisbane $200,000 out of Measure K funds not too long ago. And those funds could be used for anything. And David Canepa, as a county supervisor, was actually very familiar with a pump track because the county built one down in El Granada. It's very popular. Unfortunately, it was built out of dirt, and so with the storms this winter, it just got wiped out. And there is interest in the community in a pump track. I mean, from the Crocker Trail Master Plan, pump track and bicycle features along the trail were very popular. And they've also been mentioned out at Sierra Point as well before that process got kind of derailed through the whole yacht club stuff. But none of those bicycle features or pump track or anything like that were included actually in the first draft of the plan, even though kids go out there to learn to ride bicycles every weekend. It's a super popular spot for parents and their children to enjoy bicycling without cars being present. So I think it's a great opportunity to put in bicycle skills features. These are things like a bicycle teeter-totter or balance, rails, that kind of thing. And I really strongly encourage the inclusion of that in any sort of improvements out at Sierra Point. Also, I saw in your capital improvement program projects or proposed projects, some sort of court games, basketball slam court or something like that at the teen center. And in the master plan for Crocker Trail, the consultant estimated how much it would cost to build a pump track, a 5,000 square foot pump track, and it was less than $200,000, which is what Dave Canepa offered Brisbane. Now that money was actually taken. The city council didn't make a decision. They asked staff what to do with it, and the staff said, well, we're going to spend it on the pool heating system you heard about tonight. And the capital improvement plan number associated with that project is $1.7 million. I think in the package you have tonight it's TBD, but it's $1.7 million, and they could not go forward until they got this $200,000 that they appropriated for the pool, on which you also spend $600,000 a year just to operate. So I'm kind of interested in cost-effective things that are feasible, and a pump track I think is feasible, especially if you get Measure K funds again. And you could put a pump track wherever the teen center or the Crocker Trail, although we're waiting for EIR, or out at Sierra Point, anywhere. I think it would just be very popular. The city council even admitted it would be very popular. As you consider prioritizing things that are currently on your list, I would suggest prioritizing the Crocker Trail EIR as number one, because that's $80,000, let's say. That's feasible. That's something that the city could actually do. It's been over 2 years since the Crocker Trail Master Plan was approved by the City Council, and we still can't improve the trail at all. That's my way of thinking. That's not acceptable. We spent you got a lot of community input on the trail, a lot of interest, and then for 2 years, nothing. So I would put that as number one, as a priority for the City Council, because it's doable, and it kind of closes a cycle on a project or a process that the city initiated and that the community participated in. Personally, I'm a big fan of active recreation. And so I like all the active recreation projects or support you're giving that in the capital improvement plan. Oh, and one thing I missed, I came in a little bit late. Was there cost recovery presented tonight for the pool programs? Okay.
No, not
All
tonight.
right. That's just something, personal interest for me. Again, the pool, it's a great benefit for the community. We spend $600,000 a year on it. We're about to spend $1.7 million more for a new heating system. We've spent millions of dollars on that over the years to drain the pool, resurface it, to fix the bathrooms. It's very expensive, very, very expensive. And something like a pump track is like a skate park. The budget for the skate park maintenance is $500 a year. $500. The pool, $600,000, right? So that's 1,000 times. So anyway, that's my pitch tonight. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to our reports section. The first report up is the chairperson. I do not have a report tonight to give. We can move on to the subcommittees. First up is Public Art Advisory.
That's us.
Yes,
We saw amazing proposals
yes.
from what, 5 or 6 proposals?
Oh,
5 proposals. I think we limited it down to 3. We kind of,
yeah.
we're going to come back and meet with them, right? And get to know them personally instead of on paper.
Yeah, these are proposals to discuss a public art master plan company that would come in and help us develop a art master plan, public art master plan. And we got lots of proposals from different companies, and we picked our top
3.
and
Yeah.
then we all pretty much agreed on which ones we liked, and we look forward to interviewing them and moving forward with that. What else?
And we also talked about move forward on the fire hydrants and Firth Park discussions.
Mhm.
Trying to remember what Madison did to get us to come to the agreements of the proposals so quickly. It was a great
Oh,
tip.
raise the hand. She said, everybody who likes this one, raise your hand. And so just by raising hands, we got it
We eliminated.
eliminated. It was just like that. It was a really good.
And then we got to dig into the 3 and why we liked each 3. So it was a great tip moving forward for other things like that.
It'll be interesting to see out of all these companies, or the ones that we liked, which one we choose. I think it'll depend a lot on our meeting of the people and what kind of, method they have and whether we feel like we can work with them. One of them's very local. One of them is kind of very youthful, but has worked in the area, and we really like their energy. They're urban planners. Anyways, they're all very different, and so it'll be interesting to go through that process and see what happens.
Very excited about that, actually.
So that was
Is that
most.
everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was most of it.
Okay, thanks for the update. Derby Day and Day in the Park Subcommittee meeting, do we need to really?
It was just planning and getting our ducks in order and doing the day in the park stuff. That was it. I must say, staff worked very hard. I believe we didn't spend that much on all the stuff that we had there. I mean, we got a lot of bang for our buck. We got the cocktail people out there to do their own business. Did we have any report back? I'm sorry to go back on Day in the Park, but do we have any report back on if the food trucks and the cocktail trucks, did they make money that day?
Both of the food trucks met their minimums, so we
Great.
didn't have to finance any portion of that. They they had a great day, and I think the Lions Club did pretty well too. I don't know that we have the financial recap from the beverage service, but we can report back. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, generally we didn't spend money on that stuff, and we had really good jumpy houses and a petting zoo, which I think was one of the more expensive items, maybe. Anyways, as far as budget goes, I think we got a lot of bang for our buck, and I think it was one of the more well organized, exciting array of things going on in the park. If it was just a little cooler. But anyways, I think it was a great day, and I think money-wise, we did well.
Can we ask staff if there are any notes, any things we can do better, or any concerns, any successes?
I think if we anticipate heat like that again, maybe we bring back the dunk tank.
Yes.
Or some kind of water feature
Yeah.
where kids can splash through water or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it's true.
I love that idea, and I will say I was just at a Lions meeting last night, and we did quite well on the tri-tip and hot dogs. So
Good. All right, well, there you go.
Okay, next item up is setting of subcommittee meetings.
So from my perspective, I think the most timely meeting that we need to schedule is Festival of Lights. So transitioning off from one big event to the next. So
And Julie is the only member that's here
Yeah.
tonight.
So we could send out an email to try and coordinate schedules with Trudy and Natalie.
What is the date of the Festival of Lights?
It's the first Sunday in December.
Okay.
I think it's
and
the
Noreen,
5th.
I'm out of town starting Thursday through Thursday.
Okay. I will ask Jovi to send an email to the three of you to try to get a date on the calendar for that.
I'm just going through the subcommittees here. Events committee, we do need to meet. We probably need to plan out our year next year
Oh, okay.
at some point.
I am available after, starting in October. This rest of this month, I'm going to Italy.
Okay, oh, you mean November?
I'm sorry, November.
Okay.
yeah.
Why don't we coordinate that one over email
Okay.
as well?
Yep.
And then we haven't met, Julie, I'm looking at you. We have not met with Yak this year, I don't think. We haven't. So maybe that's something to think about.
I agree. That would be a good idea.
They're just getting started back up after the summer recess.
Okay.
So they're actually meeting tonight. We can either invite them to one of our meetings and then they can speak to the full commission, or we can just schedule a subcommittee as your schedules permit.
Okay, I think we should handle that one over email too, because we should have some sort of agenda in mind. So, okay, perfect. Any other subcommittees that we think we need to set up now?
I mean, the only one I'm thinking about is the recreational facilities, just because, as we're making capital improvement recommendations, that might be a timely meeting. Oh, and I'm saying we, but it's not me. I did it again.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, I'd also suggest that conversation could take place at the next meeting when we bring back the CIP, so
That's
that
true.
the full commission can weigh in.
Yep.
Okay, let's
Good
plan
idea.
on that.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're good. So we'll coordinate the meetings through email.
Great.
Okay. Great. Do any of the commissioners have reports?
I don't have a report, but I've been talking, I know we mentioned at the last meeting I attended that we wanted to do like a day of service. And we talked about doing it for the Crocker Trail, just doing cleanup. So maybe we can coordinate that. We're thinking in the spring.
Yeah.
Something to work on together.
Yeah, and
for
we're
that.
thinking that it's going to be a decent sized event, like the coastal cleanup, like we will rally businesses, we will rally.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know that I mentioned that to you, Noreen, but like a lot of the trash is actually on the business side. So if we could get them involved, I think that would be really helpful.
Mhm.
Agreed.
And also get Yak involved. That would be something
Yes.
they'd probably really like to do.
Or the new Big Wheel Club.
Oh.
Okay, any other thoughts from commissioners?
And this idea brewing that I've been hearing about a community gardens becoming more service oriented, not less and less just owned plots. A community garden with a purpose. Would love to see if we can look into that. You know, instead of everyone just owning a plot of land, it has some sort of giving function to the homeless or food hungry, food needs. It's working in other places, and I just feel like that's just sitting there without a purpose. I think it's a great thing that we have it, but what if it had a purpose? Something to think about.
Yeah, do people rent those plots?
Yeah.
Oh, they do, okay. Thanks for that, Tom. Okay, if there's nothing else from the commissioners here, let's move on to the staff report.
Hi, everyone. I missed you at the last meeting. Good to see you. Our department report today, I don't know if you can hear me, I'll scoot in a little bit more. Our department report is lengthy. We have a lot of great things going on, so I will just dive right into it. Our age-friendly city initiative update, our AARP survey went live in the blast today, so please make sure if you are, I believe it's 55 and up, I should know that, but completing that survey, it is long. We recognize that it's a framework that AARP put together, so please go through the entire survey. Your answers are very helpful in helping us with the next stage in the new year when we begin kind of prioritizing additional steps. So keep an eye out for that, and that is on our city website as well, and we did share something on our social media pages today. Senior trips are in full swing. We did just take a group to the Winchester Mystery House. This Friday, we're taking a group on the Hornblower yacht. Holidays at Fioli is coming up at November 28th. So lots of fun trips that are coming and more to be planned for the winter, January through March. Registration for Thanksgiving break camp and winter break camp is open, so please do sign up for those programs. Registration for boys and girls middle school basketball is also now open, so please keep an eye out for that. Starting tomorrow, we have a new Roomba class that's starting at the community center. That is from 7 to 8 p.m. And after doing a quick gaze at the roster, I did see a familiar name on there. So there is space available, and it is a new class. So we encourage the community. Actually, if you go to your first class, you can go for free and then sign up for the remainder of the session. So
What
tomorrow.
day is that?
Tomorrow, Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. over at the community center. As was mentioned, pickleball at Mission Blue has been a hit. It is currently scheduled through October 25th, but we are looking at the possibility of some sort of extension in some capacity. I know people are enjoying the outdoor courts just because at Littman, even though that was a wonderful option during the summer, it is a little bit tighter. And so when you're playing, it's a little bit more challenging, but it's been really wonderful having that pilot program over at Mission Blue. Another new program that we have started and we're trying to kind of continue to gain momentum with is our e-fitness program at the Sunrise Room. So on October 26th, we have a beautifully newly installed television that's mounted on the wall. Thank you, Jeff and Ricardo. And we have programming that seniors can join staff in some movements on the screen. And it's a lot of fun. So we also have like the standard sport games too that you can play if you're not looking to have like a little bit more fun, not as much sweat. You'll still get a little sweat in there. So we encourage folks to check that out. Playground resurfacing. That's a long-awaited project that is coming in November, which is kind of a great time. It's a little less impact from the community. So we will be closing for a brief amount of time, and we'll continue to communicate that information to the public, but it's much needed playground resurfacing. So the equipment will remain, but the surfacing, and that is through the Prop 68 funding.
And this is in Community Park? Okay.
Correct. And we do have a lifeguard training course coming up in November that we do have some spots available. So November 17th through the 19th. So those are some of the classes and programs. And then just real quickly, we already mentioned the underwater pumpkin patch event. We do have our next teen night at the Sunrise Room. We're using that as an opportunity to use the Sunrise Room not only for our seniors, but for our teens to check it out on certain evenings. So October 18th. We will be having a Halloween movie night on October 20th over at Mission Blue. That starts at 6:30. It is family friendly, and we are showing a throwback 1991 Addams Family movie.
Wow.
Yeah, exciting. Not that new one, the classic. Parents' Night Out, October 28th, and that is also conveniently the same night as the Chamber Halloween Variety Show. So if you're looking for some childcare, we got an option for you. BDW will be offering their Halloween portraits as they've done previously on actual Halloween, 4 to 7 p.m. over at the community center. But before that, we have our Halloween dog event. And you might remember that we offered that last year over at the dog park with some feedback from some community members who requested if we could try it in community park with dogs on leash. It just has a different group of people that like to walk their dogs on leash versus having them off leash at the dog park. So we are trying out that this year on October 30th, 5:30. Middle school dance, November 3rd at Mission Blue. Festival of Lights in December, the BDW Craft Fair, and then we are going to be trying out a polar bear plunge on the 14th of December at the pool from 5 to 7 p.m. Stay tuned for more details. Thank you. Just, yeah.
We want it nice and cold, Jeff. Okay, well, thanks for the update. And just stepping back to subcommittees, and I'm looking at Julie here. Will we have access to the survey, those AARP survey results, the subcommittee?
It'll go through AARP, but they will provide us with the survey responses, so
Okay.
we can go
Great,
over
and
that.
then we'll just set a subcommittee meeting and go through them. Okay, perfect.
The surface at the park, is that changing or is it a better surface? It didn't seem to last that long.
Part of the reason that it didn't last as long was because it wasn't regularly coated. It's supposed to be recoated like a top seal every 18 months, and that wasn't happening. So we're going to put in new pour-in-place surfacing, which is kind of similar to what's out there now. It's higher grade, so we hope that it's more durable and more long-lasting. The other thing we're doing is we're also removing the sand that's there because that has caused rapid deterioration of the pour-in-place surfacing. So by getting that out, it will hopefully preserve it a little bit better. It's also a safety hazard to have the sand out there adjacent to the concrete and the pour-in-place. So trying to tackle those things simultaneously. We do still have sand at the tot lot up by the pool if people want to play in the sand. So that's still available for them. But yes, it will be consistent with the pour-in-place surfacing that's there now, just a higher grade.
And it's just the surfacing, you're not doing anything
Correct.
with the equipment? Okay.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, thanks for the update, Nicole. Moving on to commission matters, do we have any written communications tonight?
We do not.
Okay. Thank you. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be on November 8th, 2023. And can someone make a motion to adjourn at 7:41 p.m.?
I motion to adjourn. I wasn't looking at you.
Meeting adjourned.